Hello everyone. Today we will look at polynomials. In previous years you would have studied polynomials in some amount of detail. We will be proceeding further, but before we go into the details, let's quickly recap what is a polynomial and what are the different types of polynomials. A polynomial is of the form f of x is equal to a0 plus a1x plus a2x squared plus a3x cube plus an x to the power n. This is a polynomial of degree n and an is not equal to 0. So this is a general form of a polynomial. The degree of the polynomial is the greatest power of the polynomial, and the coefficient of that will not be equal to 0, because if this was equal to 0, then the degree of the polynomial will no longer be n. It might be n minus 1, depending on which is the greatest power there, whose coefficient is not equal to 0. Now, in polynomials, depending on the degree of the polynomial, you can have various types of polynomials. The first is a linear polynomial. A linear polynomial is a polynomial of degree 1. A linear polynomial, suppose for example, x plus 2. In this, the power of x is 1. So this one is called a linear polynomial, and these polynomials that we are talking about now are polynomials in a single variable. So you may have x or you may have y, but you wouldn't have both of these at the same time. So we are talking about polynomials in one variable. Now second, linear polynomial. Then the second type is quadratic polynomial. The quadratic polynomial is a polynomial having the power 2 as the biggest one. So the degree is 2. So for example, x squared plus 7x plus 9. The degree is 2 because the greatest power of the variable is 2. Now, the third one is cubic polynomial. Cubic polynomial is a polynomial in which the degree is 3. For example, x cube, 7x cube plus 4x plus 2. Here the degree is 3. So the cubic polynomial has a degree 3, quadratic has degree 2, linear has 1. And the polynomial having degree 4, that is called a biquadratic polynomial. Bi, and then you have the quadratic. So it's like quadratic 2 times over. So the power or degree of this is 4. So let's say 8 x to the power 4 plus 7. It is a biquadratic polynomial. Now, depending on the terms or the number of terms in a polynomial, I can also classify it. So, if I have the polynomial has only one term, suppose the polynomial is x or 2, there's only a constant. So then I will say it is a monomial, because there is only one term. In this there is one term. What is the degree of this in which there is only a constant? When you talk about a constant, you are looking at where is the variable. I don't see any variable. It is of this form. See, 2x to the power 0. So when 2x to the power 0 is there, the degree is 0. So but it is a monomial because there is only one term. Now, second, binomial. Binomial in which there are two terms, 2x plus 7 or x to the power 4 plus 3 there will be two terms. The degree of this first one is 1. Degree of this is 4. But there are two terms here. So this is also a binomial, that is also a binomial. Now, then we have trinomial, in which the number of terms is 3. For example, 4x squared plus x plus 7. Trinomial. Or 7x to the power 7 plus 3x plus 2. Trinomial, because there are 3 terms. Now, all of these, and if you have more terms, they are also given the term polynomial, more than this polynomial. So, a binomial, when there is a 2x plus 1, we may also say f of x is equal to 2x plus 7, where 2x plus 7 is a polynomial in x. But more than 3, you would also refer it to as polynomial. So polynomial is an umbrella term for all of these. Okay. Now, these are things you would have studied last year. Now, let's look at something more. With this two you have studied. 0 of a polynomial. 0 of a polynomial. Let us take a function of x. F of x is equal to x plus 2. So, when we talk about 0 of a polynomial, now this whole thing, x plus 2 is the polynomial. Now, if I put some value for x, a particular value for x, the whole of this polynomial may become 0. So what is that particular value for which everything becomes 0? How can you find that? I would pick, like this is 0 is equal to x plus 2. So x is equal to minus 2. So if I substitute instead of x minus 2, then it becomes minus 2 plus 2. So I would get 0. So the value of x for which the whole polynomial becomes 0, that is called the 0 of the polynomial. So in this case, minus 2 is a 0 of this polynomial. Suppose I have x squared plus 2x plus 1. This is the polynomial. What is the 0 of this polynomial? So this is f of x. Suppose I put f of minus 1. What happens? Minus 1 squared plus 2 into minus 1 plus 1. Minus 1 squared is 1. Minus plus 2 into minus 1 minus 2 plus 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. And 2 minus 2, 0. So minus 1 is a 0 of this polynomial. Similarly, I can have for each polynomial, I can have zeros. So let us look further. Now that we know what is a 0 of the polynomial, how are polynomials represented on the coordinate axis? This x plus 2, we took this f of x is equal to x plus 2. How do I represent it on the coordinate axis? Let's take x value and f of x values. When x is 0, what do I get? F of x becomes 2. It becomes 0 plus 2. So I get 2. When I put x is 1, then 1 plus 2, f of x is 3. Then if I put 2, then f of x becomes 2 plus 2, 4. Now let me draw this. Let's put a x is represented on the x-axis and the f of x is on the y-axis. So now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me go negative. Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, and down again minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5. Now 0, 2. Where do I represent it? When x is 0, f of x is 2. So this is the point. When x is 1, f of x is 3. When x is 2, f of x is 4. So I can draw a line through these 3 points. And if you see, it passes through minus 2 here. Where does it cut the x-axis? It cuts the x-axis at minus 2. So the 0 of the polynomial, we found out earlier for x plus 2, what is the 0 of the polynomial? When I put x is equal to minus 2, the whole thing becomes 0. So minus 2 is the place where this line cuts the x-axis. So a linear polynomial, or that means a polynomial of degree 1, it cuts the x-axis at only one place, and it can have at max 1 0. So the degree is 1, the number of zeros of the polynomial is also 1.